Thank you, Brad.
There you go.
As you can see, I did not get the gray shirt, black pant memo. So you want to be more interesting, start being more interested in those around you. Listen to them. Being a good listener is a skill all effective networkers must have. Real networking is not about working this room and getting the most business cards. It's about connecting with just one person and focusing on how you could each be a resource to each other. That's the reason why I know extroverts do not own networking. Some of the best networkers I know are introverted because they're naturally wired to listen before they speak. No matter what your personality type is today, you can train yourself to be a better listener by practicing active listening. As Stephen Covey used to say, active listening is a lost art. We're either talking or reloading. So today we want you to keep that gun in the holster for a little bit and practice active listening for just 1 minute so you can see that when you commit to really listening versus reloading, you can make a pretty strong connection with somebody in less than 60 seconds. So right now, I want you to think about your favorite way that you stay connected to your network, that you stay engaged and listening to them. For example, maybe your favorite way is that you use Facebook, or maybe it's the Twitter account, or maybe it's a LinkedIn group. We got a couple of really cool LinkedIn groups in the Sage community. Maybe that's how you like to stay listening and connected. Maybe you have alarms on your phone that alert you every day to important birthdays, so you can send out a note. Or maybe you subscribe to your hometown newspaper and you get it once a month, you get 4 weeks, issues come in, so you can stay connected and listening to your friend, coworker, and family back home. Think of just one way you stay connected. And if you can show and tell, like if it's on your tablet or it's on your smartphone, get that out and ready, because I want you to turn to someone near you. That could be somebody sitting next to you, behind you, in front of you. Connect quickly with somebody, make eye contact right now, find a partner, and we're going to do a little pair and share. Pair and share. So quickly turn, you don't have to move too far. Decide really quick who's going to go first. Partner number one. Partner number one has 60 seconds to share their favorite way they stay connected. And then we're going to switch. We're going to put a clock up. It's going to count down to 60. The clock is going up. Partner number one, you're going to go first. Ready, go. All right, partner number two, you're up now. Partner number two, same drill. Turn to partner number one, share your favorite way to stay connected and listening to your network. Ready, go. All right, time's up. Come on back. Raise your hand if you just learned a new way or got reminded about a way to stay connected and listening to your network. Raise your hand. Let me see some hands if you could learn some new ways. Yes? Over here? Cool. Oh, I see hands everywhere. Awesome. In just a few minutes, you are about to make some new connections with people who face the same job challenges you face and the same role and responsibility you have. And some of these people you've never met. Some of them you haven't seen in a long time, it's been years, and others you may only know by name from that LinkedIn group. But let me assure you, there is huge strength in weak ties. Weak ties are people you're about to meet that you've never met before, but you're about to establish. What you're about to have happen here could become very important connections for you, not only personally, but professionally. Many of them are going to connect you to a dot. They're going to give you a resource. They're going to introduce you to someone that you don't know, but they know, that can give you information or help you do your job easier or positively impact your career or your life. But don't forget to listen to them in return and always ask, how can I be a resource to you? My plea for you today is to take some sort of action this week to continue the conversation with someone that you meet today. Send an email or connect on LinkedIn or Twitter or our very cool mobile app where you can quickly send a message. Say, let's meet up for breakfast this week. Make a commitment to take one action towards developing a connecting relationship because you never know when your life may depend on it. When life decides to throw you a curveball, and you all know we get a certain amount of those we have to catch, right, in life, you or someone you love will be in a crisis. It might be a healthcare crisis, it might be a job loss, it could be a loss of a loved one. And your network will be there for you if you've taken the time to build it. The worst time to start to build a network is when you really need one. You need to start today. We don't know exactly how the answers we're looking for are going to show up and from our network, and it's usually in the most extraordinary ways that we've never expected and far more creative than we could possibly have imagined or envisioned. And often at the most critical times that we really need it. And it's often through a weak tie. It's often someone we just met, someone we haven't talked to in a long time. And I'm here to tell you that I'm alive today because of my network. 8 years ago, I was the 4th person in my family to be diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma. My brother and mother died from it, and my sister was 5 years in remission when I was diagnosed. I decided I wanted to be like my sister. There were 3 significant roadblocks that I faced in the first 2 weeks of getting the news that I had a fast-growing tumor between my heart and my lung the size of an orange. At the beginning and the end of that first week, I had 2 different healthcare professionals say to me, I'm sorry, but it's Friday, and the on-call radiologist or the on-call hematologist, they're not going to talk to you until Monday or Tuesday. So listen, try not to think about it. Don't worry about it, and like that didn't work for me. The afternoon before my biopsy, I swear to you, you can't make this stuff up. I get a phone call from another perky receptionist saying, oh, listen, you've just been bumped off the surgery schedule due to an open heart case that took precedent, but hey, don't worry about it. We'll call you next week. It would be at least a week before they were probably going to get back to me. And all 3 of these roadblocks happened in my first 7 days of my cancer journey. And each time, I turned to my network. I literally visualized my network wheel. And you are the hub of your network wheel. You're the hub, and coming from you are all the spokes you're connected to. It might be colleagues, it might be friends, it might be Sage alumni, Sage City alumni, it might be your college alumni, it might be the people you work out with at the health club. Those are all wheels. And every time I had to ask myself, who do I know, who do I know, who do I know that might know someone who could help me get one step closer to that doctor or that information that I needed. And each time I had to push through the negative dialogue that was going on in my head, it sounded like this. He won't remember you. You haven't talked to him in 8 years. Oh, her? You took her off the Christmas card list 7 years ago. Are you kidding me? You can't call him. You just met him at a party 2 weeks ago. And each time, as the author Meg Wheatley says, I had to step into the energy of yes. And that's exactly what I did. It's exactly what you need to do today. One of the most amazing lessons I learned is it was not my close friends, it was not my family who held the golden keys for me. It was weak connections. Someone I just met casually and others I hadn't talked to in years. Someone I hardly knew but I listened to and made a deposit with 8 years earlier but lost track of, stepped up on my hours of need. With one phone call to a client whose father I had met at her Christmas party 2 weeks earlier, connected me to the on-call radiologist where my unread CAT scan was sitting, and he got me in front of the on-call radiologist 1 hour after I was told it would be a week, several days before I'd hear anything. Another person I had been close to 12 years earlier when we lived next door to her, but I had literally lost track of her. She was off the Christmas card list, but I reached out to her and she connected me to a vascular surgeon in Denver hours after I had been bumped off the surgery schedule for my biopsy. And someone that I helped 8 years earlier and was a friend of a friend, I didn't even remember what his last name was, he knew, because he was a vascular surgeon, or actually he was a hematologist, and he knew the on-call hematologist where my tissue sample was sitting. So I could leave the hospital knowing for sure I had Hodgkin's lymphoma. When I met my oncologist for the first time 2 days later in his office, I'll never forget him saying, "I've never seen anybody get worked up this fast. This is amazing, wow." But you know, now you have to have a bone marrow biopsy and one of those porta potty things, I think they're called catheters, in your chest. And he said we have this very sophisticated network. We go in and we find the first available surgeon that takes your insurance or the first available OR suite, and it will be 2 weeks from tomorrow. And he seemed so surprised that I was disappointed by that. But then I realized I had all the power I needed. I knew my network was more powerful than their computer network. So I whipped out my cell phone and I called a fellow room mom. Anybody here been a room mom? You put on parties for ungrateful children. And we had bonded over the years. I knew she was married to a surgeon. Honestly, I wasn't sure what kind of surgeon, but that 5-minute phone call changed my course. I will never forget the look on my oncologist's face when I told him that I found a general surgeon who took my insurance and he was doing the surgery tomorrow and we could actually start chemo on Friday. 10 days earlier than his sophisticated computer network. I said, next time, have your people call my people. And I knew at that moment, without a shadow of a doubt, I was going to be fine. And 8 years later, here I am. My network not only came through for me with life-saving connections, but they fed my family, and I don't cook. This was a really good thing. My 2 daughters, who were only 11 and 6 at the time I went through chemo and radiation, remember fondly this time is the only time we had home-cooked meals in my house. Because strangers, many of them weak ties, showed up to deliver them. That's my last chemo session. With my girls came. Maddie, my youngest, decided she wanted to wear a hat too, so she's wearing a pink flamingo hat. But my network didn't just feed my family. My network fed my soul. My kids went into my office and found a large binder, and that's the binder. And they actually made a cover that says, Mom the Warrior, and at the bottom it says, Mom's Cancer Blessings. And every single card, every single email I got, they made me print them out, and we put them into this book. And that book weighed about 25 pounds, and I lugged it to every chemo session to remind me of the power of my network. So I'm here today with you because I trusted those weak ties. And here at Sage City, we know it takes a village of strong and weak ties. And now it's just up to you to step into that energy of yes and begin to make those connections. And lucky for you, we got 8 villages for you to visit today. So Brad, why don't you come back up and let's tell them about the real reason they're here.
Thanks, Sarah. Amazing story. Amazing story. Wow. It's it's interesting in your case, your network, right? It was people that are often comprised of folks that you might have known for a really long time and might have just met. But it's still helped you get through this whole crisis and through that amazing, difficult time. And you know, I think about today and I think about what I saw last year.
Yeah.
It's all about building your personal networks, you know? And this might include a weak connection or it might be a longtime friend. It might even be your very best friend that you're about to meet for the very first time today. So in just a few minutes, who knows what's about to happen, right? It's very exciting. And the good news is that both types of connections are very, very valuable. Sarah's story illustrates that dramatically. And to facilitate these connections, we've embedded a tool in your Sage Summit app that allows you to make those connections immediately. So if you find somebody today that you think you'd like to connect with, all you need to do is use the Contact Exchange icon on your Sage Summit app and simply enter the code that's on their badge. And your personal information will be exchanged instantaneously. So, all right, so let's take a quick walk through how Sage City will work, okay?
Yeah. So surrounding us are 8 villages, and they're each based on your role. That was one of the, we listened to you last year, and that's what you told us you wanted the villages to be divided by. And in each village, we have mayors. And we also, by the way, all those blinking green lights you see going around, those are the people that are ready to receive you. They are our ambassadors, and they are our mayors, and they are people that are both partners and employees, and they're here to help you make those connections.